What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of NBA action here on Tuesday, January 7th. We're going to break down every NBA game tonight and look at bets on the side and over-under, and I might be back in the afternoon to throw some player props in the pinned comment once injury reports are confirmed. In terms of a recap for yesterday, guys, it was very up and down. We finished things up 2-2 overall. Our first pick, we had the Pacers minus 8.5, a solid win there. They came through for us easily. The Knicks minus 11.5, they managed to lose that game straight up 103-94, so seems like something might be wrong there for the Knicks. Also seems like Toronto headed in the wrong direction and the Bucks headed in the right direction. Milwaukee got a blowout win in that one, so our Toronto in the points bet did not come through despite RJ Barrett ending up playing like we kind of were projecting. We finished the night off strong there with a win on the Clippers +3. They ended up losing that game by 2, so a very, very close game for them there against the Timberwolves, but hey, we will definitely take that win. A 2-2 night, obviously not what we're looking for though, so let's see if we can bounce back in this one, guys. If you want to win all of your bets today, hit that like button. It's good luck and shows support for the channel and all the hard work we're putting in here every single day. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today, and we will give you our best advice on all of them. I'm committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Phoenix Suns going on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets. The Suns come into this game fresh off a 109-99 win there against the 76ers last night. So good things from the Suns, getting a solid win there. Bradley Beal played well coming off the bench. This Phoenix, reshuffling the lineup, all that kind of stuff. We'll see how things go with that down the stretch here. Obviously, no sample size to speak of here. They won this game thanks in large part to shooting 45% from long range. KD had 23 points. Devin Booker only had 10 points, only 3 of 16 from the field. He still seems like he's really trying to kind of find his way out there. The 76ers did not play Joel Embiid in this game, so that was another big reason the Suns were able to get this win. Not a whole lot of firepower out there for the 76ers. Maxey put up 31. Kelly Oubre came back. He played great, putting up 26, but the bench scored a grand total of 7 points in the entire freaking game there for the 76ers. That is not going to be getting the job done. So we'll see what they can do, see what the Suns can do in this one. I don't think they're going to get, nearly as easy of a time, but they're going up against a pretty weak opponent here. The Suns come into this game relatively healthy. We see Royce O'Neal still sideline. It appears, Plumlee's going to stay there in the starting lineup. Apparently, it's getting close to O'Neal being reevaluated with that left ankle sprain, but not yet, so we will not see him out there on the floor. The Suns could use all the help they could get right now, not having the easiest time despite coming off a win. They're going on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets, who are riding a 10-game losing streak right now. They're fresh off a 115-105 loss there against the Cavaliers, but some positives, guys. We saw LaMelo Ball play. We saw Brandon Miller play. Both of them looked very good out there. Each one put up 24 points. Ball shot only, 3 of 11 from three-point range, so that's not ideal. As a team, they shot 35% from 3. Not the worst, not the best. They can definitely do better than that. 48 rebounds against the 41 of Cleveland, so they definitely did some positive things against one of the best teams in the NBA. So loving what we're seeing right now out of the Charlotte Hornets team. They come into this game looking very, very healthy. Seth Curry is on the injury report, but it appears both LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller going to be good to go for this one. And Seth Curry, he's even probable there as he deals with that knee complaint. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, very interesting to see the Hornets here getting only 3 points. We've got a total of 222. The Suns, 7-9 against the spread on the road, 2-4 against the spread on no rest, 3-12 against the spread this season coming off a win, and they are 2-7 against the spread with a rest disadvantage. So a lot of trends there pointing us towards the Charlotte Hornets. They're only 9-9 against the spread at home. They're 13-13 against the spread after a loss, but they are 4-2 against the spread with a rest advantage. This isn't a spot that feels good, guys, but a lot of times you have to put yourself in these uncomfortable positions if you want to try and be a profitable bettor. And one of those positions, I think, is going to be the Charlotte Hornets getting 3 points here, playing at home against a tired Suns team who's about to be, dealing with their second game with things being all reshuffled. So go ahead and give me the Hornets here at home, getting 3 points. I think there's a shot they could win this game straight up. I know that sounds crazy. Not something I thought I'd be saying at the beginning of the season, but I really like the Charlotte Hornets in this spot. Next on the schedule, we're looking at the Houston Rockets. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Washington Wizards. Houston comes into this game fresh off a nice 119-115, so a very close, albeit but a win there against the Lakers. They've won 2 out of their last 3. They did lay that egg against the Boston Celtics. That one caught us. Didn't think they would look that bad in that game. We loved what we saw from Jalen Green in the win. 33 points, 5 of 12 from 3, 50% from the field overall. A great game from him. The Rockets managed to win this game despite shooting only 11 of 19 from the free throw line. That's kind of embarrassing stuff, guys. pretty mediocre free throw shooting out there across the board, but a good game there from Amen Thompson coming off of the suspension, scoring 23 points there in the starting lineup, and just good stuff up and down. I am starting to get actually concerned here about the Fred VanVleet situation. He only had 15 points in 42 minutes, only 2 assists, like just not doing that much out there. So we'll see how things go there. Alperen Sengun, a decent but not great game, especially by his lofty standards. They crushed the Lakers by 10 there on the boards. Anthony Davis and LeBron were really the only ones able to rebound the ball against Houston. So really liked what we saw from the Rockets, managing to win this game despite the Lakers shooting 44.4% from three-point range and shooting not double, but kind of getting close to double the free throws that Houston took. So a very nice win there for the Rockets. They've got to be very excited about that. They come into this game relatively healthy. We do see Jalen Green there on the injury report. He's questionable with a right knee contusion, obviously coming off of playing 33 amazing minutes, 33 minutes, 33 points there against the Lakers. The hope would be that he will be playing in this game, but seems like that's still kind of up in the air here. So we'll see what the Rockets get after in this one. Other than him, though, they're looking fairly healthy. Tari Eason is on the injury report, guys. He's doubtful for this game against the Wizards, but he is nearing a return, so that is good news there for Rockets fans. So we'll see what Houston can do going on the road to take on the Washington Wizards, who are 6-27 on the year as they continue to tank out yet another season. They're fresh off of losing both games of a little home-and-home series there against the Pelicans. They lost game 2 there by 12 points, so pretty brutal stuff right now by Washington. Straight up not having a good time despite getting a little bit healthier. Kuzma put up 28 points in the loss. We did not see Jordan Poole playing this game, so kind of seems like when one of them is playing, the other one goes down kind of situation. Washington, really not a team that's trying to win right now. It doesn't feel like. Sarr did have 18 points in the game. That's nice seeing his development a little bit. Jared Butler, 17 points off the bench. But they got out-rebounded by a small margin. They did not shoot the ball well from 3 at all. Only 11 of 41 from deep, and just they're not a good team, guys. This isn't a bunch of news here for you about the Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards suck. They're not trying to be good this season, and they're not headed in the right direction. In terms of their injury report here, guys, we see lots of names on there. Jordan Poole, he's on there. Brogdon out. Carrington, day-to-day. Kulabi, day-to-day as well. It seems like he's closer to questionable, dealing with that illness, so we'll see if he comes back. They're not going to be rushing him back. They're not going to be rushing Carrington back. He's dealing with that ankle issue. He's questionable as well, and Poole is questionable with that hip issue. So just a lot of dudes questionable for this Wizards team. I think it's unlikely that they're going to be rushing anybody back to play as they continue to just try and tank out this season. We'll see what they do around the trade deadline, but it's not going to be moves to make them better right now. You can guarantee that. So look at the numbers for this game. The Wizards are getting 9.5 points at home. We've got a total of 225.5. Houston, they're 9-6 against the spread on the road. They are 12-10 against the spread, coming off a win. Pretty nice stuff there. Washington, 8-11 against the spread at home. They are 10-14-2 against the spread, coming off of a loss, which is obviously the norm for this Wizards team that's so bad. Guys, looking at this number, I think it should be double digits. The fact that it's not, I really like the Rockets in this game, especially if Jordan Poole doesn't play. That takes a good chunk of offense out of the lineup, but really, I don't think that's the end of the world regardless. I think Houston's kind of pissed off right now. I think they're going to go out there and take out some frustrations on this Wizards team, and I could see this getting really out of hand. Houston could win this game by 20 plus without, too much trouble. I honestly think their, second unit here is going to do a good job of, maintaining and even building a lead. So definitely give me the Houston Rockets here at -9.5. This is a play that's got a great chance to end up in the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we got the Los Angeles Lakers going on the road to take on the Dallas Mavericks. The Lakers come into this game fresh off a tough loss, that 119-115 loss there at Houston. Now they've got to go to Dallas. They're playing this game on TNT, so kind of a spot we would hope to see max effort there and everybody playing from the Lakers, but we'll see what actually happens. Anthony Davis coming off a 30-point performance there against Houston. 30 points, 13 boards, 2 assists, 5 blocks, but yeah, just not enough to get the job done. All of the Lakers starters had positive plus-minus numbers, but that bench did not look good. Dorian Finney-Smith chipping in 13 points. He looked pretty good, but other than that, it was just a black hole of just lack of production out there. And when you look at the guys that aren't producing, like, what did you really expect out of Cam Reddish this season? Like, what did you really expect out of Shake Milton this season? Like, this is not a deep enough or good enough team to actually be good. Like, they're just not good. They don't have enough guys. The starting lineup looks a little bit better now. Cool. Dorian Finney-Smith in there in the second unit. Cool. Whatever. Fine. But there's just not enough firepower. Like, LeBron is 100 years old. Anthony Davis is made of glass and not good enough to completely carry a team. He's not a playmaker. Austin Reeves, 21 points, 10 assists, a plus 12. What more can you possibly ask out of a guy like Austin Reeves? Like, the Lakers just were not good enough to win this game. So pretty disappointing there for Lakers fans, I'm sure. I don't know what more they could really be doing right now, though. This team's been pretty active and trying to get better. I just don't think they've got the stuff to get much better. In terms of the injury report here, we see LeBron and Anthony Davis both on the injury report. AD probable with his ongoing foot maintenance, and LeBron, guys, he's probable as well with what's being listed as a foot issue, but I think the real issue is he's 1,000 years old. Gabe Vincent has to have been one of the most disappointing signings for anyone in recent memory. He's dealing with an oblique injury. He's questionable for this game. Other than that, nobody really super important that could play or could not play in this game. So going to be the full strength Lakers here as they go on the road to take on the Dallas Mavericks, who are certainly not at full strength, guys. It's been pretty brutal lately for the Mavs, missing Luka and missing Kyrie at some points as well. They're fresh off a 119-104 loss there against the Memphis Grizzlies. PJ Washington actually led the team in scoring with 17 points. Clay had 15 points. Like, Clay is really just, it's looking like a smarter and smarter decision by the Warriors to not, sign him long term. It's sad. I hate to see it. Clay's been one of my favorite players of all time in the NBA, but just not getting the job done right now. Najee Marshall coming back. He played okay, 16 points, but only 5-15 from the field. There's nothing really left in the bench. I mean, Jaden Hardy did have a good game, so maybe I take that back. 15 points there, 5 of 10 from the field. A very good night from him. The Mavs shot 36% from three, but only 40% from the field. They had 50 boards, but they got out-rebounded by Memphis, and they had no answers for the size of guys like Jaren Jackson Jr., and very few answers there just for anybody really on the Grizzlies. So a tough night for Dallas. I don't know that it's going to be getting any better for them in this one because they're still not going to have Luka for this game. Kyrie Irving is dealing with that, bulging disc in his back. He's going to miss 1 to 2 weeks, so he will certainly not be back for this game. It's going to be a while till we see Kyrie. It's going to be a really long while until we see Luka. All of a sudden, things are looking very, very dark there for the Dallas Mavericks. They could fall pretty far down the standings there in a pretty competitive Western Conference. So we'll see what happens, but it's not looking too hot, guys. Looking at the numbers right now, the Mavs are getting 5.5 points playing at home. We've got a total of 222.5. The Lakers, 8-10 against the spread on the road, 4-6 against the spread with a rest advantage. So there's some positives mixed in there. Dallas, 9-7 against the spread at home. They are 4-2 against the spread on no rest, and 5-7 against the spread a rest disadvantage. Unfortunately for us, the Lakers are only 7-7 against the spread coming off a loss, but that's not going to slow me down here, guys. I'm definitely taking the Lakers here at -5.5. They're at full strength. This is the skeleton crew version of the Dallas Mavericks. I think they're going to straight up not have a good time in this game. The Lakers are going to play with high effort, and everybody's going to be out there, and it's a TNT game. So I think we see maximum effort for the Lakers, and I think we see them get the win in this game by at least 6, if not double digits. Moving right along here, guys, we are looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves going on the road to take on the New Orleans Pelicans. The Timberwolves are 18-17 on the season, fresh off a 108-106 win there at home against the Clippers. Good stuff there. Anthony Edwards, another big game, 37 points. He scored 28 of his 37 in the second half, and the Timberwolves overcame a huge first half deficit to beat the Clippers, but hey, guys, they only beat them by 2. We had the Clippers +3. We'll definitely take that one. The Timberwolves still seem like something of a lost team to me, honestly. I mean, Anthony Edwards trying to do it all out there, and really where's his help supposed to be coming from? I mean, Julius Randle isn't going to be amazing. He scored 5 points in that game. He was 2 of 10 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3, only played 23 minutes. So not a lot of positives for Minnesota right now, from outside of Anthony Edwards, who's obviously playing out of his mind. Dante DiVincenzo had a decent game, 15 points. They put him in the starting lineup. Naz Reid, 18 points off the bench, but he was a -10. Mike Conley, was coming off the bench as well. He was a +11, scored 11 points. So maybe shuffling things around here is the answer, but a big part of why they were able to win this game, guys, was Jaden McDaniels going 4 of 5 from the field and 3 of 3 from three-point range. Absolutely not something you can count on from him on a nightly basis. So concerning stuff for the Timberwolves. They do come into this game fully healthy, so that's nice, but they really came out on the short end of that Karl-Anthony Towns trade. Having Julius Randle does not look like that's going to be a great match there alongside Anthony Edwards, and obviously everybody with eyes can see the Rudy Gobert situation is not great. Not great, guys. So we'll see what they can do here. Going on the road to take on the New Orleans Pelicans. The big news coming out of New Orleans right now is that Zion has been upgraded to questionable. There's a chance that he comes back for this game. If not this game, very, very soon. soon he's going to be out there. So I hope they're not rushing him back. Got to get that hamstring situation figured out because that can become a hamstring tear and then he's out for the season. So we'll see what happens, see what kind of shape he looks like when he comes back. I'm worried that it's going to be more of a round shape than an in-shape basketball shape, but we'll see what happens. The Pelicans have won 2 in a row. Both those games were against the Wizards, though, so not going to overreact to that. 110-98 win over Washington in the second half of their home-and-home series there against the Wizards. 22 from Trey Murphy, 25 from CJ McCollum, a plus 15 from Dejounte Murray, who had 14 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds. So a nice triple-double there from Dejounte Murray. He's playing better, but the offensive production for this team is a little, I don't know. I just can't figure this team out, guys. Like they look like they should be decent on paper, but the bench is truly atrocious. And until they get Brandon Ingram and Zion back, like I don't know what this team is going to be. So we'll see if they're going to be buyers or sellers or what's going to go on with them at the trade deadline. Looking at their injury report for right now, obviously the big question mark is, will Zion come back for this game? We see Dejounte Murray there on the injury report and Trey Murphy III. Dejounte Murray is dealing with that elbow issue. He's questionable for this game, but he was also questionable for that game against Washington, I believe. I think game 2 or game 1, one of those games he was questionable with that elbow issue, and he did play. So we'll see if he plays in this one. I'm leaning more towards probable. We do see Trey Murphy III. He has been ruled out for this game. He's dealing with an ankle injury. He is not going to be out there, and that's a pretty big blow for this team. He's a big part of what they want to do. Guys, unfortunately, we'll finish this off, but the Pelicans, they're getting 5 points. We got a total of 223.5. The Timberwolves, 9-9 against spread on the road. They're 1-3 against spread on no rest, 1-3 against spread with a rest disadvantage, and 7-10 against the spread after a win. The Pelicans, 10-9 against spread at home, 2-4 against spread with a rest advantage. Unfortunately, guys, I can't give out any sort of major lean on this game until I know for sure whether or not Zion's going to play. If he plays, cool. Sign me up for the Pelicans at +5. I think they'll be reinvigorated. They'll have their best player back. I think they'll be playing with maximum effort. If they don't, if we see like Dejounte Murray sit out along with Trey Murphy, like all of a sudden maybe we need to be looking at the Timberwolves, despite the fact they're playing on back-to-back nights. So kind of got to just stay away from this one for now. Maybe we'll get more clarity on it later in the day. Maybe if we get news that Zion is going to play, I'll put this one in the pinned comment. But for right now, we're just going to have to wait and see. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Atlanta Hawks. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Utah Jazz. The Hawks have kind of fallen off, guys. They've now lost 3 in a row, losses to Denver, the Lakers, and the Clippers. All those games being played on the road, so not the easiest situations, but you would have thought the Hawks that were, flying high and playing so well would have gotten at least one win in there, but that has not been the case, and they haven't kept those games particularly close either. They're coming off a 131-105 absolute beat down there at the Clippers. Things did not go well there. I thought they would have a better chance, in Kawhi's debut, but Trae Young seems like maybe he's going back to his old habits. It's hard to tell. Maybe he just is having to do that right now. He put up 20 points, but not in a very efficient way. We saw Hunter. Actually, I take that back. He shot the ball really, really well. But still, 20 points, 14 assists, and your team still loses by 26. That's not going to work. We saw them shoot 34% from three-point range. Not a bad enough percentage to get blown out. We saw DeAndre Hunter shoot the ball great off the bench. 18 points for him. He continues to kill there in the second unit. But overall, guys, it's just suddenly not looking quite so hot there for the Atlanta Hawks. So we'll see what they do down the stretch. They could be a very interesting trade team possibility, but we'll see what happens with them in terms of their injury report for this game. Trae Young is on the injury report. So is Jalen Johnson and Bogdan Bogdanovic. Jalen Johnson, guys, he's dealing with that shoulder issue. He's been ruled out for this game against the Jazz. He will not be playing. Trae Young, he is probable for this one. That right Achilles tendonitis seems like he's going to be out there. And Bogdanovic, guys, he is probable for this game. So it sounds like he's going to be back out there in his first game since the third. So yeah, he came back against the Lakers. Didn't play amazing, but having him out there is a big plus for this second unit. They are going to need everything they can get here to take down the Utah Jazz, who are playing great. They've actually won their last 2 in a row, taking down the Heat and the Orlando Magic. They're only 9-25 on the season, so it's not like they're an amazing team, but they're starting to actually play their guys and give themselves a chance to win some of these games. So we'll see if things continue along the same route. I mean, that 105-92 win against the Magic obviously is the very short-handed Magic, but still very good stuff, guys. Colin Sexton, 20 points. Brian Sensabaugh, amazing day from him off the bench, guys. 27 points, 5 of 6 from 3. As a team, Utah shot only 34% from long range. We didn't see Markkanen play in this game. So, yeah, good stuff there from the Jazz. I had to scratch the Jazz from the pinned comment for that game because they weren't going to be playing Markkanen or Collins. So, if they end up putting both of them back in the lineup for this one, things could look quite a bit different for this Utah Jazz team that's been doing a lot of positive stuff lately. They also crushed the Magic there on the boards pretty pretty impressive there. The Jazz come into this game, obviously pretty much always going to have an injury report that's kind of full. We see Keontae George on there, Markkanen on there, John Collins on there. So is Jordan Clarkson. Keontae George, guys, has that heel issue. He's been ruled out for this game. Markkanen with a back issue, he's questionable, so that's really fun. We have no real way to tell if he's going to play. John Collins, personal, he has been ruled out for this game, so he won't be out there. And Jordan Clarkson, guys, he had an MRI. He's got a torn plantar fascia, so we do not know when we're going to see him back. So, yeah, Jordan Clarkson definitely out for this game. So, looking at the numbers here, we see the Jazz getting 6.5 points. We got a total of 234.5 out there. Atlanta, 8-10 against the spread on the road, 7-10 against the spread after a loss. The Jazz, 5-9 against the spread at home, and 4-4 against the spread after a win. If the Jazz are going to be anywhere near full strength for this game, I would definitely want to take them in the points. Even if we knew Markkanen was playing, I think we'd want to take them in the points. But with so many unknowns here and the Hawks in desperate need of a win, I am leaning here towards the Atlanta Hawks at -6.5. It's not my favorite spot. Definitely not going anywhere near the pin comment. Not a play that I can really get on board with until I have all the information on these players. But if you're begging me for a play on this one, I am leaning towards the Hawks in this spot. Next up, guys, we have far and away the marquee game of the night. We've got the Boston Celtics going on the road to take on the Denver Nuggets. The Celtics come into this game 26-10 on the season, but fresh off a 105-92 loss there at the Oklahoma City Thunder. That didn't go the way they were hoping, guys. They gave up a lead in that game. They were looking pretty good there in the second quarter, but the third quarter didn't go great. In the fourth quarter, we saw the Celtics score only 12 points, really struggling to deal with that Thunder defense. And you have to keep in mind, this is a Thunder team that's not even anywhere close to full strength. One of their best players, Chet Holmgren, is not playing right now. So Boston can't feel great about what happened. Tatum had a nice day, 26 points, but came up kind of, non-existent there in crunch time. 21 points from Jaylen Brown. It's not a great look. This is the full-strength Celtics, basically. Porzingis played in this game, played 29 minutes and played well, had 19 points. The bench came up very, very small, though. Pritchard had one of those games that he occasionally has. Can't throw it in the ocean. 0-5 from the field, 0 points, a -3. Also a -1 there for Horford. He played 25 minutes, only at 6 points. So, yeah, kind of brutal stuff from the Celtics in this one. That starting lineup's going to have to play a little bit better. They're going to have to start breaking this up or something. I'm not sure, but Jrue Holiday, 2 points there in 34 minutes. That just cannot be happening. So we'll see if the Celtics have a bounce back in them. They certainly need one after a terrible, terrible game. They do come into this one fully healthy, guys. Jrue Holiday ready to go. Tatum and Brown both ready to go. Porzingis there in the starting lineup. That second unit does look a little bit suspect. I mean, Pritchard, Hauser, Horford, and Cornette, not exactly a second unit that's going to strike fear into the hearts of its enemies. So we'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Denver Nuggets, who are fresh off a much-needed 122-111 win there over the Spurs. Denver's actually won 4 out of their last 5, but with wins over the Spurs, Hawks, Jazz, and Pistons, not exactly a murderous row of opponents there. So we'll see what they can muster in this one. I mean, in their last game against the Spurs, Jokic played out of his mind, or maybe not, it's not even out of his mind for him, honestly. 46 points, 19 of 35 from the field, 10 assists, 9 rebounds, a couple blocks, a couple steals in there, only 2 turnovers on the night. He was a +7, but Michael Porter Jr. was a +21. He scored 28 points, really stepped up. That's more like what they need from him on a regular basis. Jamal Murray, another pedestrian day, guys. 13 points, not a very good night from him. Nobody really going particularly nuts on the bench. I mean, Peyton Watson was a +21. He had 8 boards and 3 assists and 8 points, but in 34 minutes, that's not too incredible. Westbrook had a meh shooting night for him, but had 10 boards and 6 assists, so he's doing his thing out there. He's producing. They just need a little bit more from this bench, and all of a sudden this Denver Nuggets team could be pretty elite. Let's keep in mind, though, it did take them overtime to knock off the Spurs. So we'll see what they can do in this one, guys. They haven't been at full strength because they've been missing Aaron Gordon, who it looks like he's going to be out for this game as well. Yeah, he's confirmed out with that calf injury. So they're not rushing him back. I don't blame them. He hasn't played since Christmas, and there's no reason for them to be in a crazy hurry. I mean, as a team, they're still 20-14, so they're going to be all right out there. And other than that, they are fully healthy coming into this game. The Denver Nuggets are getting 4.5 points in this spot. We've got a total here of 235. Boston, 7-9-1 against the spread on the road. They are 7-2 against the spread after a loss. Denver, 7-8-1 against the spread at home. They're 8-10-1 against the spread after a win. Guys, this is a tough spot. Not going to lie, I really want to be on the Celtics here at -4.5. especially considering they're coming off of that loss where they played so poorly against a very good team. And the Nuggets really haven't fared great against good teams this season in general, but I do definitely worry. There's nobody on the Celtics who can guard Jokic. Like, who's going to guard Jokic? Is Porzingis going to guard Jokic? Like, that's hilarious, guys. Jokic is going to just knock him into the stanchion. Like, he's not big enough to actually guard Jokic. Horford can try, but he's way outsized. So, guys, I am going to stick with my original read. I am going to take the Celtics here at -4.5. The Nuggets aren't at full strength. The Celtics are, and Boston's in a big bounce back spot. They are playing on the road. That's not ideal, but I do think they find a way to get the job done and win here by at least 5 against a Nuggets team that, hasn't shown that they're really at the Celtics level this season. Is this going in the pinned comment, though? I would say it's got an outside chance. I really want to bet it just because it's a game I'm so excited to watch. So maybe that does make it into the pinned comment. We'll have to wait and see. If it does, though, guys, please, I hope you're watching this. It's not going to be one of my bigger plays. It's just going to be a play that I think makes sense, but I don't know if I really have it doesn't pass the eye test because I don't know who on Boston can guard Jokic. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Miami Heat going on the road to take on the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors were 6.5-point favorites, guys, but that has been moving like crazy because we just saw the Heat play. What did it end up being? Was it triple overtime at the end? I believe it was a triple overtime game there against the Kings, where we saw the Heat eventually lose 123-118. No, double overtime. Sorry. So, yeah, things not working out for Miami in the end in that one. 26 points from Hero, but he's having to do so much of the work with Jimmy Butler not playing. Rozier had 18. Jaime Jaquez Jr. 16. Not a ton of scoring there from the bench. As a team, the Heat shot only 26.2% from three-point range. They got out-rebounded by the Kings. They really didn't have any answers for DeRozan or Sabonis or Malik Monk. So, yeah, brutal stuff there for the Heat. Now they've got to play on back-to-back nights after a double overtime game. They only have to travel from Sacramento to San Francisco. So, at least it's not a terrible flight, but still, guys, that is a pretty brutal bit of scheduling. So we'll see what Miami has left in the tank. We don't have a fully updated injury report for them yet. Obviously, Jimmy Butler going to be out for this game. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them rest a lot of guys for this one because, how could you possibly be any more exhausted? Like a double overtime game and travel added in, that is pretty brutal stuff. So I can see why this is already up to 8.5 points. They're taking on the Warriors here, who need a win, guys. They're fresh off getting blown out there by the Kings. Golden State 18-17 on the year. Over are those days of, oh my God, the Warriors are back. Buddy Hield's the next coming of Klay Thompson. Spoiler alert, he is not. So things not exactly going Golden State's way. We saw them, beat Memphis the other day. Draymond was barking. Everything was good. Well, then we saw them go up against the Kings. Steph put up 26 points on very efficient shooting numbers. He only played 30 minutes in the game, but yeah, not a lot of good happening besides that. Just terrible stuff from the bench in general. Moses Moody playing great. Probably won't get any minutes in the next game, but hey, he played great. So we'll see if Steve Kerr will play him. But the Warriors got crushed on the boards in that game. They didn't have any answers for Malik Monk. Keegan Murray even played well against them, but yeah, they didn't have any answers against the Kings bench either. Just a really tough game for the Warriors there at home at the Chase Center. They don't have to travel here. They stayed at home, and now they get to play the Heat, who are going to be completely exhausted. The Warriors aren't going to have Podziemski in this game. They're also not going to have Kuminga for quite some time, a couple weeks at least, as he deals with that, pretty severe ankle injury. But other than those two guys, they are healthy for this game. So Buddy Hield, Moses Moody, Draymond, Trace Jackson Davis, Dennis Schroeder, Andrew Wiggins, Steph, everybody's healthy and ready to go for this one. So we'll see what they can put together. They're 8.5-point favorites now, a line that's probably going to move some, and we're probably going to try and beat that line movement here, guys, because I'm taking the Warriors at -8.5. Miami, they're 7-9 against spread on the road. They're 3-4 against spread on no rest, but this is not normal no rest. The Warriors are 9-10 against spread at home, but they're 9-7 against spread after a loss. A little bit of a bump there. Obviously, they've got a big rest advantage here in this game as well. So give me the Warriors to figure out a way to win this game by at least 10. It's kind of a big ask in my opinion. I don't know if this is, the lock of the century necessarily, but I do think it's good enough value, especially against a very tired team. And I think we can beat a lot of line movement here. So go ahead and give me Golden State to win this game by double digits on their home floor against a completely exhausted Miami Heat squad. That's all the games we have in the NBA for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Help me grow this channel. I really appreciate it. We need it right now more than ever. Subscribe to this channel if you're new. This is currently the only channel that I have access to. So we'll see if things come back on the main channel. But right now, that is very up in the air. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I answer all of them every single day. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action. And we have NFL playoff videos coming up this weekend.